Let's talk about the Wyatt Sicks. Now, SmackDown is live from Austin, Texas tonight, and this week, I believe it was, or the week before, it was revealed on Raw by Karrion Kross that the Wyatts have moved to SmackDown. Which begs the question, firstly, why? And secondly, what is next for them? So, firstly, the why, and I think it's possibly something to do with USA wanted to keep the Wyatts on their broadcasting, possibly, or maybe just to the fact that Raw doesn't really have anything for them. Although they have been having this kind of feud with the Final Testament, which really isn't a feud because nothing's really happening with it. There's nothing kind of been done with them, so there needs to be some form of ground. Maybe the new brand will help that situation because it gives them new people. Now, that rolls onto the what next. So the what next is basically going to be who do they target. And I feel like the ideal target, because obviously the way they're running things and the way they're targeting people, is people who have done wrong to others, in a sense. And a prime example of that is Solo Sikoa, because he's ostracized himself from the original bloodline. He has taken, brought in a new bloodline of his own and tried to take over the whole of SmackDown. Now, it's an option for him, and probably an option going forward, but does it really work? Because Solo, for me, is kind of the upper, not exactly the main event scene side of things, but he's certainly an upper mid card, possibly just bigger than higher than the US title, not so high to get into the main event anymore because you've got other people there. So we're looking at possibly increasing the stock in the Wyatts, but are they at that point? Because I don't think they are. Is there anybody else on the roster who can kind of bridge that gap for them to get to that next level? And I don't think there is. It seems to be that the Wyatts have been left out to pasture, in a sense. So what would be the ideal? Now, I'm going to go back to the originator, in a sense, and that's Bray. Now, Bray Wyatt's whole ideas usually were about chaos and creating chaos within this world. He saw it with his Eater of Worlds persona. You saw it with the Fiend. You kind of saw it with the next stage before he passed away. And you kind of saw it with Uncle Howdy as well. He was never really what's classed as a good guy. He was just popular because of his personas. Now, do we need to kind of roll everything back a little bit? Because the debut of the Wyatt Sicks was really cool. Like, they destroyed the backstage area, creating chaos in a world that seemingly had order. And I feel like that is what's missing. They're targeting these people, but they're reasoning for it. What should be happening is technically what's happening with the Final Testament. Karrion Kross is causing people to reevaluate themselves. They did it with AJ Styles. They did it with the New Day. They did it with others involved. They've kind of had people change who they've been, and they're kind of doing it with Miz, but it's not really, nothing's really changing. He did turn on Truth, I guess, and kind of got away from that. But Miz isn't the cocky, arrogant, brash Miz that he once was. He's still kind of in between that. So would it not be better for the Wyatts to have a similar process, creating chaos in a world that seemingly has order? Which would mean that they would need to target a babyface of some kind. Now, I know he had Bray's final match, and I know it didn't go off well. But maybe that's the way to right the wrong, with what happened with Bray is to do it right with the Wyatts, and that is LA Knight. Now, LA Knight's kind of on an upward trajectory. He's looking at feuding with the Bloodline. It works. It gives him a decent spot. He's thereabouts. But for me, the Wyatts need to be the other attraction that isn't the world title. They need to be away from that. Similar to what The Undertaker was at times. I know Undertaker had forays into being world champion, and it kind of worked. And it's something that should have happened with The Fiend originally. The Fiend never should have been world champion because it made no sense for him to be world champion. It made more sense for him to disrupt and create chaos. And that's what I feel like these guys need to do. There needs to be possibly a team that they need to take on. Possibly with LA Knight. You're looking at, there's a lot of tag teams in WWE that you could pick out. I like the likes of Legado del Fantasma. They could work as... They did a bit of a babyface thing recently in a tag match. They could probably work as a stepping stone to gaining traction back on the Wyatt Sicks. And I just feel like they need to be the chaos within the whole brand of SmackDown. Taking out these people here and there, not having reason or purpose, but just to cause these people to reevaluate their own personal situations. And maybe you end up with a few face turns, a heel turn here and there and everything like that, because the Wyatts are just getting to them. And that makes more sense. That these 5, should be 6, are basically working to find the real person within these superstars. It all works. For me, it makes sense. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comments. What should happen with the Wyatt Sicks on SmackDown? Like the video if you have. Subscribe if you're new. Until next time, guys. Take care.